So check this out. Check this out.
It's a long ass fucking timer too, bro.
Hold up. You always got something to say. So check this out. This
can you cut to 30?
L's
do a full minute.
L's favorite homeboy in the whole wide world.
Here you go with corny joke alert.
Paul Pierce, the truth.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Got his ass fired from ESPN because he couldn't keep. He could not but post on IG that he had a visit from the Clappers. So, Elgin, you in Philly, and that's how shit rolls in Philly. I want you to just explain things to us.
I will. I'm going to explain as soon as Tico comes on. He can write you a funnier joke than that shit that you just spit just now. That shit was trash.
Can you explain that to us, man?
You started off with a Paul Pierce joke?
This obsession with the Clappers that you guys got out there, man. Because he's been visiting Philly a lot. Mm-hmm. So I want you to explain that. The Clappers are really worth him losing his job at ESPN for.
We lost like 5 viewers just now on that joke.
Shut the fuck up.
Hope they come on back.
Whatever, Dick.
Come on back.
Whatever. Man. Jokes aside, man. Paul Pierce is a 44-year-old grown-ass man that was making millions of dollars and knew who the fuck his employer was. Was it really worth him posting that shit on IG for real?
Why do we never in these situations, the first thing we go to is mental health? Because in order, the go-to for me is that nigga crazy.
Not crazy. So? No, not crazy, stupid, okay? First, I do have to correct you, okay? It's not Paul Pierce, a man who had $1 million job. It's Paul Pierce, who has over $1 million in the bank, who just so happened to be working for ESPN. If anything, look, I'm sorry. In this instance, to me, he was stupid. Okay, he was stupid. Why? When you're doing something like this, there's no reason to take it to social media. Enjoy yourself. Just enjoy yourself.
Yeah, well,
I'm just mad that he don't have no real friends. That's what I'm mad about.
Why you say that?
Because he don't have no motherfucking body in his crew that would have pulled. Like, motherfucker, you on live? Like, put your phone down. You don't have no friends.
That's kind of like,
bruh.
And then you receive the call because he was live.
So you in there by yourself with 99 sixes?
All that is
because you didn't even have no dimes in there. You had sixes and nickels up in there, bro. You couldn't choose better. Your selection was trash.
All that is, man.
You can send all of your emails to @elginbailey@gmail.com.
Hey, I'm pro sex work, but I'm pro high quality sex work. I mean, you're gonna do it. I mean, you're gonna do it all the way, right? I mean, okay, I'm the only one. Okay.
Have some standards. No, standards are important. Standards are important.
No chips bouncing off asses. I saw no chips bouncing off asses.
I saw flat.
He was trying to keep it classy. But they said real talk that some of the insiders from ESPN were saying that the reason why they let him go is not simply because of the video. If he was recorded by someone else enjoying himself at that location, it would have been a totally different situation. But because he's the one that recorded it and released it is why they were like, our policies and standards, and that's why we had to get you out.
Okay. I'm on both sides of it, because if you look at it from a corporate standpoint, there probably is some type of clause or something in there that talks about
conduct clause.
Your conduct and reputational harm to the company, yada yada, blah blah blah. But I mean, the man was doing his own thing on his own time. I mean, was he hurting anybody? Was he doing anything illegal? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
once you sign that contract, though,
you could have seen that type of thing on an awards show. You understand what I'm talking about?
You did.
I was going to say you did.
Yeah, no bullshit.
I'm just mad at his selection. His choices just, I mean, bruh.
He should have pulled a Lou. He should have pulled a Lou Williams. He should have pulled a Lou Williams.
He should have pulled a Lou Williams.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's the difference between, having black strippers and white strippers, right? Blacks, they're called strippers when you see them at the club. white strippers are called exotic dancers. So he had exotic dancers.
No, they weren't. No, he
That
didn't.
was not exotic.
No, he
about
didn't.
that.
There was nothing
When
exotic. Nothing exotic.
you're on all floors,
They were all from Jersey.
when you're on all floors, dog, there's nothing.
They're all from Jersey.
When you're on all floors, man. No.
When it's your back shaking and not your ass shaking,
They were trying to get the scoliosis out, my guy. They're trying to relieve that scoliosis.
Trust and believe.
Welcome.
Trust and believe. If they were from Jersey, they were strippers.
What's up? What is up? Back once again. It is the incredible In the Black podcast. And in case you weren't aware, this is a podcast dedicated to covering the current events and social issues going on in your black world and covering it all from the perspective of three grown-ass men who like strippers a little bit, but not obsessed with. No,
don't fuck around and get me divorced.
You know what?
Not today.
You know what? Sorry, I apologize.
Not
I am
today.
your host, Big O.
Like strippers. Never will be.
There are no
It's a goddamn lie. I am your host, Big O, Mr. In the Black himself. But you know I can never do this alone. And we got a full house tonight. We're going to be the fucking Wu-Tang Clan tonight. Let me introduce the rest of the Wu-Tang Clan. Crush, say what's up, man.
What's good, everybody? It's a party.
Elgin, say hello.
That's not very nice.
It's not.
I'm consistent.
This is what he does.
We have guests. We have guests.
Elgin is a.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know these motherfuckers already.
Elgin is a son of a bitch. And tonight we are joined by the incredible crew from the Straight to Tape podcast.
Yes.
Family, what is going on?
What is good? What is good?
Let's go ahead and introduce yourselves one by one, man. Ladies first, please. I know Tico want to jump in. I saw him bubbling already, but go ahead, mama. You got it.
That ass. Hey y'all, it's Keisha with a Y, aka Hip Hop Mom, aka your mom's favorite mom. I'm so happy. It just is what it is.
And they say I'm not nice. Okay, all right. Let's
Two
go.
things can be true at the same time. Tico, what's up, baby?
Why me being your mom's favorite mom is not nice?
No. Tico, help out.
Nah.
Yo, it's Tico the Gallo. You know, I stopped going to strip clubs because it reminded me of like marriage. You know, I would go see motherfuckers get naked and give them money, but not get no ass in the end of the night. So yeah, that's why I am. You know, people talk it, I live it all day, every day.
What is good? Yo, it's your man C. Perry Easy the second. I'm 1/4 of podcasting's fantastic form, the Reed Richards of the bunch. And look, we happy to be here. And who's chewing loud? God damn.
This guy.
You know, you better talk to your light skinned people, my guy.
Yeah. I had to put ice on that brown tonight, man. Because if not, the bottle would have been empty. But yeah, that was me.
Oh,
That
that's you.
nigga's
All
a
right,
jerk.
I'm about empty right now. Too.
Oh boy. Oh boy, it is a party.
You never show a bottle like that.
What's going on? What's up, Rob?
Hey, yo.
Yes, probably sweet tea in there.
Now you know.
Yo.
You know.
Anyway, and bringing up the rear, hella pause. It's your boy.
There we go.
Rob the actual, ruggedly handsome, geekishly intelligent, and here to bring a balanced perspective. And we're happy to be on In the Black.
That's what I'm talking about.
No doubt.
Did you really have to do really?
Yeah, with the
Yeah.
Branding, man. Branding.
Somebody put a little sparkle like right here on his eyeball.
right.
Come on. If you're checking this out on YouTube, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way, helps the algorithm. Make sure that you subscribe so that you can catch the next video as well. And make sure you check us across social media at In the Black PDCST. That's Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. But before we jump into the show, L, please tell these folks how they can become part of the family if they want to join the family, man.
Hey man, going over to our website intheblackpodcast.com. On the right-hand corner, you can click the Become Family tab, and there is a variety of ways that you can become a part of our family. You can buy swag, you can just send us straight cash app, or we have a new thing, or not a new thing, but an improved thing, and that's becoming a patron on our Patreon account. We got 4 tiers. We got something for everybody. We got something for the folks that love us a lot, and we got something for you hating ass motherfuckers too. So you can come on through and join and build with us over there at our Patreon account.
No doubt, no doubt. Now there's a lot of people.
We've been doing it the old-fashioned way and shit. My bad. We've been doing it the old-fashioned way, just with a cup outside in fucking Walmart.
Yeah. Listen, can you please listen?
Y'all got shit like this? Yeah.
Hey, look, passing out handbills and shit like in the club and shit. With straight to tape on.
With the L like the Salvation Army and shit.
You guys.
We gotta get our game up, guys.
Do you want to go through the pies? Check in, L?
No, fuck that. Not tonight. We got
a whole bunch of motherfuckers, and I'm scared to hear what Rob and Keisha got to say, so I'm gonna let that slide for tonight. But so what we're going to do tonight, we're going to forgo our black box letter, but we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes of the show tonight. Georgia recently passed a slew of adjustments to their voting rights. To their voter rights laws, and it's got the whole nation, or I should say, all of black people in America up in arms because it seems like targeted voter suppression. Now, are you guys familiar with what's been going on, and what do you guys think? Who wants to go first?
I mean, very much so. Very much so. It's and you got to understand, all right? It's not just Georgia, man. Georgia's just the jump off, okay? Georgia's the one that's getting the attention because of how the election went all right? For the first time since 1992, they didn't vote for a Republican presidential candidate. And for the first time in forever, they put 2 senators in the Senate that are not Republicans. Okay, so a lot of this was already predetermined. Like I said, they're the jump off because they're about 200 some odd similar bills going on across the country.
Yeah.
Okay. So with Georgia, they're not. It's not a surprise. They're just the ones that have the eyes and the attention on them right now because Texas is about to do something very similar.
Yep.
Which is not surprising either.
Yeah. It's going to be an onslaught.
There are currently about 47 bills all across the nation that are ready to go through or to be approved on. And I think though Georgia's probably the first one to do it, Texas is next on the slate to try and pass theirs. I think the most interesting part about this whole thing, though, is there was no voter fraud.
No.
They came out and said that this was the most secure election that Georgia has ever had. They counted the votes 3 fucking times. Once was a hand count, but somehow, some way, they're trying to protect you and your mama from being able to, from voter fraud. And by the way, you can't get water or be fed food in a line. And by the way, we're going to limit the number of days that you can do early voting. And by the way, you can't get absentee voting anymore. Like all of these things that are supposed to protect voter fraud that makes no sense.
Right?
No sense.
No sense at all.
Lieutenant Governor,
Desperate.
I think, was on some bobblehead show the other day of Georgia, and how he can double down on the fact that there was no voter fraud in Georgia, but still support these laws against voter fraud is beyond me, right? And so the talking head went on to ask him about, like, so basically, what's the deal with food and water? And he was like, well, this just wasn't explained right when it came out. It's because there's a distance, 250 feet from the door. And people were using water and food to insert themselves within that 250 feet and still talk politics to the people that were in line. And speaking of lines,
I know you're hungry.
Exactly. Yeah. Vote. Speaking of lines, in the last election and the election before that, the lines in Georgia got longer
Exactly.
and
longer
longer
and longer.
and longer. Nobody has said anything about addressing how long it's taking people, mostly in brown and black communities, to vote. People were out there for 8 to 10 hours to cast their vote. But still, this bill takes away all of
that
the
shit.
things that will reduce those lines and doesn't give anything to reduce them. So yeah,
That's because they've
it's a
been
lot.
removing most of these the voting polls that they have there in these black and brown communities. And
Polling
on top of that, they've been attacking. That's an attack on the black church because they know that the black church assembles all of these people to go to these, what is it, from the pews to the polls, and they make sure that they're ready for the day. So they provide them with food and water through the course of the day, knowing you're going to be standing in line possibly for fucking 10 hours to cast your vote.
And here in the age of technology, that's super
stupid.
Unreasonable. But Keisha Lance Bottoms, the
current mayor of Atlanta,
she's trying to put something in place to circumvent these laws.
Yeah, she pushed an executive order out. So I mean, we'll see how that works though. But I'm going to ask you. We had a question pop up. So our boy Trent said, "How do you feel about Stacey Abrams' stance on boycotts hurting more than helping Georgia?"
It's both ways.
I was gonna say,
It's both ways. It's both ways because to raise attention to the issue, okay, to add pressure. That's what a boycott is for, all right? But at the same time, a boycott's going to hurt those people on the ground, all right? Those people that are, that could lose money and lose jobs because of, because of boycotting. I mean, it's a very fine line because I mean, Stacey Abrams is not the only one that is, that's saying don't boycott. Keisha Lance Bottoms is saying don't boycott. Okay. I mean, we even heard that from the White House. Don't boycott.
Yeah.
All right. But at the same time, you got to raise the issue. All right.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and the most powerful way to raise the issue is to lose cash. That is the most powerful way.
I hit them in the pocket.
And it's just like, how blindingly obvious that it is that this is, directed to black people. You understand what I'm saying? And then how, you were saying earlier that, it's all of Black America is kind of up in arms about it, but you got your black mouthpieces of white conservatism that are on board with this as well. You know what I mean? I mean, we got to point it out. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying we wouldn't have to do a deep dive, but I'm just saying it's just painfully obvious what this is all about, man. You know what I mean? And how this isn't like some type of new Jim Crow thing is and people not recognizing it is beyond me.
Well, first of all, whenever you go into the poll and you're hearing the theme music of In the Heat of the Night, you know some shit fucked up. So, but on some real shit, there's some companies that's coming out and they're and they're stepping in to support what I'm saying, the fucked upness of this bill, like that Delta Airlines CEO, what's his name?
Delta, Coca-Cola,
all those Cokes that, I'm saying, and they were saying like, all this stuff was built off of lies, and we got to think about this too. I think one of the Republican representatives even said it, like one of the head, he was like, that's some bullshit. That's not that didn't happen here.
Was it Boehner?
It was legit. I can't remember the guy's name, but I know he was high up there. And
John, I was gonna say John Boehner mentioned it, and the lieutenant governor of the state.
So now you got to remember this. Now you got to remember this right here. Now you got to remember this, okay? Even though they down south good old boys, it's the same shit if Jesse Helms was alive today, okay? So no matter I might not like niggas, but I love North Carolina. And what you're not gonna do is fuck up North Carolina. And that's number one. And that's that stand that he's standing on. This is Georgia. You know what I'm saying? This is my shit. You're not, that shit did not happen here. It's built off fucking lies, right?
It is.
All this shit happened when you know what I'm saying, Rudy let me tell you something. Giuliani was motherfucking damn all up in there giving out that misinformation and shit at these fucking damn planting these seeds like fucking, Johnny fucking Appleseed looking motherfucking shit, just planting seeds. All this shit happened like in a fucking span of joints, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, that's just crazy, yo.
Yeah, but Tigo, look, I'm sorry, but these seeds were planted long before this election.
This past election.
These seeds were planted when the Supreme Court gutted
the voting rights bill,
rights
2016.
Yep. It was gutted then. I mean, to take it back, but before then, think about it. Remember when that was gutted? If I remember correctly, what was it? 2013, 2014, when it was gutted. You had states that were ready to change, ready to put the motion in and start changing voting laws
right
barely
away.
A week after
it was 2016, man. And at the same time, while they were gutting it in 2016, they already had states in court for what was called a surgical approach to voter rights suppression, like North Carolina for one. So.
Yep.
North Carolina, North Carolina's go back further, even further than that. I don't even want to talk about the history of Art Pope, okay, and what Art Pope did in 2010 when it came, when it helped with gerrymandering this state out the ass, okay.
But let's check this out, okay. We see this, but there's some deeper shit that trickles down. Right? During this time, the youth have grown up. The youth have already seen what's going on. The ones that were 18, you know what I'm saying, that were like 12, 13, 14, 16 or whatever, they saw what was going on. They don't like the shit. You had a little kid come out, tell you straight out, I can't remember the kid's name, was like, yo, we will fucking vote your ass out. We see what the fuck you're doing. You know what I'm saying? These kids are grown now.
Right.
These kids are grown now. Right? So what they're doing, if you look at it, that shit trickles down to the youth voting. Right? So the way the loophole is, what is it? The 26th Amendment, right? The 26th Amendment, right? If I'm not mistaken, which what was supposed to give 18 to 21-year-olds the right to vote, right? But like the 15th and the
don't nobody know them amendment
19th
numbers.
Amendment,
like 19th Amendment.
No, he's right though. The 26th Amendment is for 18 to 21
years
old.
And I think it's the 19th Amendment. It was like you had to be 18 to 19. It helps you prevent. It also helps prevent voter fraud or anything of that nature too. But nobody's digging into that because that's like a gem that nobody's hitting on. That's just me. That's just I don't know.
So guys, the laws are here. They're probably going to get voted on across the United States.
Yep.
Now is the time to start preparing to circumvent whatever those laws put in place, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But hold on, let me ask
How
you a
do we
question.
really respond? How do we really respond?
Exactly. That's
What's the
question I
response
have.
here?
How do you
What's the
properly
actual
do
response?
that?
make sure that people have what they need to vote based on the laws in the states. Back in 2010 in North Carolina, when this stuff was happening, I was not the person I am today. And I was like, why can't people just get a fucking ID? And then I read this article about this 90-something-year-old Black woman who never had an ID. She never needed one. And at this point, it was too late for her to get one to vote. So she couldn't vote if that law had gone into place, right? Now is the time where over a year
motherfuckers should get an ID. Yes,
we have to unify and mobilize to make sure people have what they need in order to vote. I had an uncle that worked, he was born in Johnston County, North Carolina. He worked for the PG County, Maryland trash department all of my life, all of his life almost. When he went to retire, that nigga ain't never had no social security number. Like, so to claim his social security, he worked for the same job that long
and
that
never
he
had
never,
one?
they never asked him about a social security number. He had to jump so many hoops in order to figure out how to he was born in a barn.
Hold up, he didn't have a number, or he didn't have a card.
He did not have a social security number, sir. He never applied for one. And he had been working for the same job since 1950 something. He never had one.
Wow.
And it never caught up with him until he got ready to retire at 70 years old and went to go file his social security. He ain't gonna have no birth certificate. He was born in a barn in Kinley, North Carolina.
Yep.
Like, it
Makes
took
sense.
him 2 years to get all of his shit together so he could file for social security. So I get it. And I got that story from my mother when I read that article, and I just didn't understand that there are people out there like that. And I'm not talking about illegal immigrants, white people. Talking about people who were born here and no one cared to keep their records. They're a scribble in a family Bible, and that's not viable.
Or the X.
That's true.
Or the X, right?
Or the X.
They're really
That's crazy. Isn't like the Bible? Isn't like the Bible? Isn't like that is one of the those one of those requirements you could use if your name is written in the Bible. You
right, but who had the Bible? Who has the Bible?
But I'm just saying. Isn't that's still still today, right? I think that's still today, right?
I don't know.
But I think one of the good things.
Never heard
one of the good things that we do see taking place from this shit is based off of all the fuckery we saw with the orange dude. There's a lot of black folks who were lacking a understanding of the political process, who are now beginning to wake up and see.
Absolutely.
I think
definitely
that's been a benefit to all the fuck shit that we've seen take place. Even what we're witnessing taking place in Georgia, I'm witnessing people who were never engaged in the political process at all. I mean, not at all. Now seeing it and getting that using that righteous indignation they feel that they see, and now they're desiring to get involved. So I think in many instances, this shit is going to ultimately backfire, but it does mean that those of us who are in the know have to be out there mobilizing and getting folks where they need to be in position, because this Jim Crow shit is trying to make a comeback.
We have a lot. They're signing under plantation.
We're not, and
we got work to do.
Yep, we do definitely.
Let me bring the question back just a little bit. We were talking about this boycott because MLB pulled the All-Star game out of Georgia and is taking it to Colorado. And that's probably one of the biggest reasons why so many people are up in arms, because they see the effect that corporate America has on making changes, right? To the point that you have politicians like Mitch McConnell's old turtleneck ass coming out talking about, well, corporations and big business should stay out of politics. But except for when you bribing politicians for access, then it's a totally different thing. Then you can
we own a majority stake of free companies.
Lobbyists are. What do you think lobbyists are? What do you think lobbyists?
That's what I'm saying. Or you talking about lobbyists? We talking about Citizens United that said that businesses' money is effectively speech. So they're using their power, their money, their speech to be able to say that they dislike what's going on in Georgia. You can't have it both ways. But that's a whole nother conversation. On top of that,
how much money was the All-Star game bringing to Georgia? Is what I was curious about.
A couple of million of dollars for that weekend overall. Now, the thing that I kind of vacillate on is how many black businesses are being affected, because the actual stadium is in Cobb County, which is predominantly white to my knowledge, and the number of businesses surrounding the stadium, that number is also a smaller percentage of black businesses.
I think they're talking about more about the hourly workers who go.
Yeah, I was going to say the actual workers. Yeah, because we don't have that. We don't have that many black businesses around there that's going to make
because
make
the way
a difference, bro.
The sound was as though small business, black small business owners were going to be hurt because they pulled. And I was like, I don't know necessarily if that's if that's accurate. But to that point. Like you were saying before, if it is the workers that are going to be punished by this boycott, right?
There we go. Come on.
Are we saying now that somebody has to get sacrificed? Because you're not going to, in essence, you tying one arm behind your back. You're not going to say we want to implement change. And once again, we were talking about this off the air. You're not going to send Batman into battle and say, don't take your tool belt. You taking some of the tools out of their tool belt to be able to affect the change that they're looking for. One, and then two, even during the civil rights movement, when they're boycotting buses, there were a lot of motherfuckers that were inconvenienced. They had to walk to places. There were a lot of holes in shoes because they were boycotting bus drivers. Yeah. There are a lot of people that had holes in shoes because they weren't riding buses. So are you saying that this is like that nobody should feel the effects of this?
No, it's always going to be collateral damage.
It's going to be a cause. It's always going to be a cause.
Always going to be collateral damage. But don't let us think that it's because the workers are the ones who are being sacrificed here, that these motherfuckers is doing this. They're not on the side of the workers. They're not thinking about us.
They're not. They're using it as a fucking
this is corporate money. This is different. This is money that we don't have as a people that is making these decisions, which is unfortunate. But it ain't us. They ain't giving a fuck about the worker.
About the workers, they still pay them.
So then if that's the case, then how do you like Trent was saying earlier? How do you feel about people like Keisha Lance Bottoms, like Stacey Abrams, and a bunch of other notable black people coming out and saying, "Well, the boycott is hurting the black community in Georgia"?
Because it is. That is a fact.
That's a component. That's a large component.
Balance. In this whole always there is this drive to it be this or that. It's rarely ever like that.
But they're not saying that, but they're saying don't boycott. And that doesn't make any sense to me. Like
it does make sense.
Okay, so people, I'm sorry, El. So if cats boycott the stadiums, the people that's working at the stadiums, which I'm thinking, what I'm saying, there's
majority probably going to be black people.
Majority working at the stadiums. You know what I'm saying? So, we're talking about the trickle effect. We're not talking about the ones, that owns the companies. We're talking about the ones that ride the buses that go to work at these stadiums. We're talking about those people. We're talking about the Uber drivers that use, to make that extra money to come out. So yes, it does hurt. And what I'm saying? If that's the hustle, and that's the hustle, then you go get it, right? T-shirt is on the fucking corners, whatever. It is what it does hurt.
It does.
So, I dig it, but okay. Let me back up then. Maybe my question is not my question wasn't framed well. What amount of collateral damage is sufficient then? Because we have to do something, and you can't say we're not going to do something because certain people's feelings is going to be hurt, or some people are unable to do X, Y, Z.
That's a fuzzy number. That's a fuzzy number.
Very fuzzy.
Exactly.
Well.
That's a fuzzy number.
One thing that you mentioned, okay, you have Stacey Abrams saying don't boycott. You have Keisha Lance Bottoms saying don't boycott. Okay, like I said, you even had the same thing come out of the White House. Okay, look who's saying it. Look who's saying it. Okay?
Thank you.
This is what politicians are supposed to say.
They can't say anything else.
Exactly. This is what they're supposed to say, whether they agree with it or not. Okay, and trust me, to a majority extent, they agree with it. However, you can't say that when you are a politician. It's an entirely different flow. It's an entirely different flow.
Those people are the very people that came out in droves this last election and got your ass.
I put the black asses right in there.
Like they came and this particular area that we're talking about, like Atlanta, and showed the fuck out this election. They can't sit up there and be like, okay, boycott, because in all these people, I mean, yes, it's a temporary job, it's a hustle, but if you ever been broke and that extra
a temporary job help you eat.
Exactly.
No, I dig it. I dig it.
Exactly. So in the back of their minds, I do know that they understand, but they have to hold the pillar up on this end and let the people do what they're gonna do, because they already know what the people gonna do.
Because
once they gotta be careful
white people's
too.
Pockets, start hitting white people's pockets, man, and they start to change. And they be folding. Exactly.
Keisha and Stacey got to be careful, because it's a fine line right now. Like we as a people on ground level community folks are waking up, and we not fucking around with the political class like we used to. So when they be on that fuck shit, we are pulling their card quickly. So they have to walk a real fine line and be careful, because we turning on motherfuckers quickly these days.
So let me ask you. So we got folks.
Trump got sensitive.
So let me ask you, because we got folks that actually are boots on the ground activists on the show now. So what would be the ideal thing that you would like to see then? Given what you know about the circumstances, how would you be able to, or what would you try and do to balance it or to affect change?
I got PE, can't trust them on repeat. You know what I'm saying? On repeat, bruh. On repeat. And we having them conversations. But see, this is the part where Keisha mentioned earlier, which was so dope, that we always talk about. We got to begin to think 3 or 4 steps ahead of these motherfuckers and mobilize according, because what they're doing is SOP. This is standard operating procedure for them. Anytime that we get any sort of victory, they come through and use their power to try to level the scales. We got to begin. So what I will be doing, if I'm in there, I'm mobilizing. I'm going to the people I know who don't have IDs, who don't have voter registration. I'm setting up people in my community, vetting them to get ready to go into office seats, council, county. We putting in that type of work, because on the ground level, like Tico said, the dude on the corner selling the t-shirts, if I can get 10 of them on my side while they're selling the t-shirts, but at the same time be political, bro, I'm changing the game now. Because it's a street level cat that's putting in the work these days.
And I believe that Stacey Abrams and Keisha Lance Bottoms are going to still be doing that on the back end side, right? But as far as, like P said, they're politicians. That's what they have to say.
Right. And L, it's like you were saying earlier, man, and this is a conversation that you and I have a lot. Like you were saying, like, keep these motherfuckers accountable, man, because like you said, we turning on niggas like that. It's a byproduct of, like you said, the fuckery that we just went through.
Events,
you understand what I'm saying? Like, so many more people are politically astute now and trying to, understand better. But it's also stop putting people on a pedestal just because of what party they in. You understand what I'm saying? And hold these motherfuckers accountable no matter what side of the aisle they're on. You understand what I'm saying?
Or what color they are.
Or what color they are. Like, stop
based on policy.
Yes, not vote personality.
Yeah, bro, we gotta knock that shit off. That's been hurting us for years.
Chilling
but
us,
it's coming. But we have to keep that momentum going.
No doubt. I agree.
Keep that momentum for the last election going. Like,
keep that foot on their neck.
These youngins
and then you
tired,
stir
man.
in.
I think it's there.
Ideas and voter registration, like
these youngins is different, bro. Let me tell you.
I
think it's there. Cats all the time.
The energy's there.
Lead a glick at the house, bro. You can't bring that to the rally, bro. Listen, man. These cats is different.
Okay. He said you can't push no bail right now. You can't push no bail.
Listen, I can't do it.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what we're going to do now, L, I know this is something that's been bubbling in your soul as the news came up. We're going to talk about the recent events surrounding DMX and his unfortunate hospitalization. So go ahead, L.
Man, this every time we find a situation particularly with someone in our culture is facing a tragedy, it hits some of us in different ways. But for me, DMX has been an icon, not just a hip hop artist, not just a rapper, but DMX ushered in a whole era of hip hop, literally led a whole era in. And we've known from the very beginning, from As Dark and As Hell Is Hot, his battles with mental health, his battles with addiction, he was so incredibly transparent. And I can't think of too many artists in my lifetime who have ever been as forthcoming and as transparent as DMX has. To me, As Dark As Hot. So who did somebody say Jeremiah?
I said Pharaoh Monch. Continue.
Oh God! See this.
Go ahead, girl. You know what time it is. I see you.
We're gonna have a whole nother show one day, because
don't disrespect the Pharaoh. Just go ahead and keep talking about what you're talking.
We're not. But anyway, the news coming out. We knew DMX has been battling addiction for a long time. That's been something he's been wrestling with. He's been incredibly open with it. We've seen him on some shows, man. We saw him on Drink Champs. We saw him on Versus, looking incredibly healthy. Got a little weight to him. He was out of breath, so he was looking pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. So when we hear this news of the overdose and the news that's trickling out from his camp, I don't know about y'all, but it literally brings tears to my eyes to think about what a world would look like without X in it. Even without X putting out any current music, just off of this dude's fucking catalog. And then also, when we think about it, the way that we tend to view addiction disorders within the Black community, I think this is a conversation that we really need to begin having on a larger scale, because I'm seeing some people say some real fucked up shit about X, some things that clearly shows their ignorance about addiction. It's just really disheartening, but I'm really heartbroken, man, with the current state of the dog, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Who wants to go next?
What I think it is, people have a tendency to put their own troubles on somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this. Master P has said it. I say it. There has to be a way. There's no pension for hip hop artists. There's no retirement fund for hip hop artists. There's no insurance for hip hop artists. There's no mental type, you know what I'm saying, joint for hip hop artists, right? I mean, dude, just as men or just as people, we have to start looking out for each other, holding each other accountable, just checking in. Hey, how you doing? You know, I've done it myself. I've had cats I've used to talk to, and I'd be like, yeah, I talk to him. You know the dudes. I'll see him tomorrow. I'll see him tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But then you don't see him no more. You feel me?
Yeah.
But Master P had said that this thing probably could have been prevented if cats had reached out to DMX on some real shit. And I hear
years ago.
I hear a lot of cats talk about, you know what I'm saying? Cats be like, yo, I love him and this, that, and the other, but you know what I'm saying? But then cats be like, yo, if you love them so much,
you ain't pull them out of that dark space.
How come you won't dare to, you know what I'm saying, to be there? You know what I'm saying? Now we got to realize that, okay, this shit is real, man. I say that because myself, I deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, most comedians do. You know what I'm saying? There's some illness there. You know what I'm saying? To turn some dark shit into something that's funny.
Real shit.
So, I mean, it's real. I just have a good support system. These dudes, you know what I mean? My family. So I mean,
I am not a dude.
I knew that was coming.
Do that.
Bro, that was like 10 seconds too late. I was expecting that like 10 seconds.
Let it flow.
I knew that was coming.
It was emotional.
No bullshit.
You know, do that. So they check on me. I check in. You feel me?
Yeah,
so,
I feel it.
But if we were all money hungry and money
grubbing, come on, Keisha, come on,
that's the shit.
Come on,
that's the shit, Keisha. But see, that's the shit. because people surround themselves so much with yes men. You know what I'm saying? And then you lose face of the people when the people are trying to tell you some. It's one thing when people are trying to criticize you, and when then someone is trying to tell you, yo, something is fucked up with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people kind of get that shit fucked up, and they don't know how to take it. And so what you doing now, because you ain't down, you was down when I was fucked up, but now I'm living up, and now you telling me I'm fucked up. I ain't gotta fuck with you. These my peoples now.
I just find somebody else, right?
No doubt.
I got money. I
got money. I can just find somebody else that'll do the same thing. That'll run for me. That'll clean up my fucking mess. That'll take the fall for me. I got dough, so I ain't got to worry about that, man.
Crush. What about you, man? You've been quiet. Go ahead, man.
Oh, I mean, the overall, significance of DMX, can't be, understated. The era, the environment that produced him. It's hard not to see him in the larger tapestry as, that one survivor.
Yeah.
With all the scars.
And
still managed to succeed out of all those guys. And we knew those guys that didn't make it. But X did. But the problem was he carried everything else with him on his back into this fucked up music industry.
Where
no love for you. Where the biggest enablers may not even be the yes men, but you. The success itself enables that shit. I'm not trying to pass judgment on the brother at all, because I definitely see him as like I see him as a survivor, and what survivors deal with, we can't understand on every level. We just can't. So whatever drove X, even after the jail time and the rehab, we don't know what real help he was still seeking beyond that. We know they seemed like he was definitely a spiritually centered person. But whatever purpose that he was trying to fulfill was maybe it wasn't enough. I mean, I can only speculate, but it's I have nothing but sympathy for the brother. His talent, his talent, by sheer force of will, he survived that crazy ass shit in New York from the 80s. That shit was out of fucking control, and Yonkers was really out of control. And I heard about X back in the Howard days. I heard about him and K Solo. I heard about the beefs. I heard about the fights. I heard about the battles. I heard about this guy under different names when he had more hair. A young guy, and I'm like, why do I keep hearing about this growling ass nigga? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm all the way here at Howard.
Like, who the fuck is barking? What?
Right. And why does K Solo hate this nigga? Why does K Solo hate this nigga so much? But no, X gets all the love, man. Recent reports don't look good, to be honest with you. But anything's possible. I mean,
we just put the prayer up and I guess keep our fingers crossed. I'll put it like this, man. I remember being in high school. I remember being in high school and listening to the Clue tapes and the Def Jam drops that they would do when you see X and Ja and Eminem and all these other folks. And you're like, God damn, who is this one dude that's barking all over the goddamn place? This dude is grimy, goddamn. 98 comes and he drops that damn first album. I remember skipping motherfucking school and going standing in the damn goodies CDs for his album.
Oh yeah,
damn.
His CD. His CD was the only CD I took with me that summer when I went to boot camp. That I fucked with X that hard. So after coming out and finding out that he had all of these problems, my guys, like it, I kind of related. I related to it in the aspect that I have a father that for the past 40 years of my life that he's been battling alcoholism, and I know what addiction or the toll that addiction not only takes on the person, but on the people surrounding
on the family.
And we always forget about the family component when we start talking about addiction. I want to take a step back and talk about one of the episodes that we had a while ago, and we talked about legalized injection sites popping up on the West Coast. And I remember L being very transparent about his life and his history and everything surrounding that. And I remember I won't say the backlash, but I remember the responses that I got from people saying, nope, no legalized drug sites. That's terrible. These people have an addiction. You shouldn't be enabling it and X, Y, and Z. And to me, as someone who's watched other people with addiction, you want to get them every avenue of help as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So to limit and tie your hands because you have some sort of quote unquote fictional moral quandary about an injection site or whatever, like it, I'm just looking at it and thinking to myself, what could people or what type of help could X have gotten if people put some of those moral quandaries to the side or their beliefs to the side and all those other things?
Let's also ask the question, what type of help did he get? You know, what type of support has he gotten over the years? I know we speak about the support that he could have gotten, but what type of support did he get? I think one of the most troubling things to me that I saw recently was the video where he has the shades on and he's talking about the old head, the OG, introducing him and hooking him on drugs as a child.
Yeah. Is that right?
As a child. As a child. As a child. Yeah.
Crack.
As a damn joke.
This is an interview.
As a damn joke.
Yes.
It's a joke. So what I say is at 14, trauma-laden, poverty, hustle, crime, the path was laid before him, unfortunately, for him to be there.
Let me stir one thing. Genius.
Genius and passion. Yes.
Listen, I have this theory about geniuses. They're crazy.
Yes, we are.
Point
it's
blank.
okay.
I'm pretty damn smart.
Man, you just ruined.
You
just ruined
it. Thank you, Crush.
Smart. But I would never, ever want to be a genius. I wouldn't want any of my children to be geniuses because
not that pressure.
It's not even the pressure. It's the way your brain functions, right? So you think about anyone who has made like Beethoven, Picasso, Einstein, all of these people have Kanye West.
Keep going.
All of these people have next level capability as far as art is concerned, or whatever their science, whatever their thing is, they have next level capability, like unworldly capability. The rest of their brain does not function like our brains. A lot of times addiction is what they use to some vice in order to
balance that shit.
Balance that shit out.
Or to supplement their genius in some instances. Or to supplement their genius. Because I'm not going to, you look at Redman says he does not write without getting into something.
True. So it's like a Kickstarter for some and a balancer for others. But where we fail is that we don't realize that these people whose art or science or whatever they're giving us that we love so much, when you hear a song, it gives you chills. These people have split themselves open and poured themselves completely out on whatever it is, and they need something to balance that shit out.
That whole As Dark as Hell is hot. The whole album.
Damien by itself is
slipping.
The whole album
slipping, young.
Yes,
slipping. Slipping has to be the most succinct, like almost a thesis on black male psychosis.
Right. Yep.
I mean,
way back then.
You can present you can present those lyrics at Harvard for examination.
Yeah, he's a genius, man. Real talk.
But then when something like this happens, we're like, oh, he did it to himself, blah, blah, blah. You've been bopping your ass to DMX since 1998, right? Who has that kind of staying power? I mean, I think that Dougie Fresh sold his soul to the devil, but whatever. But still, like, no one has that empathy. They just take, and we as consumers take, and don't think about not even the lives people lead, but what's inside their heads.
Because
what's inside their heads translates to what art they're giving.
We don't understand how addiction works.
Right.
And I think that's one of the great failures of a community where addiction is plethora. It's every fucking where. We don't understand that literally addiction drugs addiction literally changes the chemical makeup of your body. It literally changes how you function. So to the point where without that particular thing, you can't literally function.
What does that matter, L? That doesn't matter. Just pray it away.
It matters because
you're supposed to pray it away. Pray away your addiction.
I done cussed a lot this show.
Don't get us started, bro. Don't get us started.
I've been hearing and seeing that, and it fucking infuriates me, man. But go ahead.
If we had a better understanding, and I think this is where knowledge comes in. If we had a better understanding of how addiction actually works on our physical bodies, man, literally the way it, and when I say it changes the chemical makeup of your body, that's not an exaggeration. That's medical science. It literally changes your chemical makeup to the point where the only thing that can soothe the pain that is from not having that drug is the drug.
Wow.
But but
I gave up.
Addiction has definitely become normalized as a coping mechanism in our community.
Oh yeah.
It's been normal. It's been normal. I mean, it's been way too normalized and commercialized as a coping mechanism for this power structure here.
Okay, so let me ask you guys the $1 million question.
Hold on, let P go first. P has something.
Go ahead, P.
To say something.
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna be simple, okay? We as a community have no sympathy for addiction.
Facts.
We don't. Okay. Especially for those who have quote unquote made it. All right. We don't. If if they lost or if they fell or if they slipped, we blame them. Okay. We don't look at all of the factors, and in the case of DMX, okay, just to be honest, just to lay it out there, DMX, great transcendent artist. This is the artist that brought Def Jam back from the brink
from the brink of death, because they was there.
Exactly. Yep. However, Earl Simmons was an addict. Earl Simmons is an addict. Earl Simmons was an addict before he got his deal.
Yep.
Okay. And
nobody gave a fuck.
Nobody
at
gave
all
a fuck.
because he was making records.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the sad part about it is, when you're looking at social media, okay, when you're looking at that bullshit article about the
houses he lost,
the motherfucking
New York Post.
Let me phrase it correctly. The motherfucking Murdoch rag put out. While this man is,
literally fighting for his life.
Is fighting for his life. Okay, we have to be better as a community when it comes to dealing with addiction, and especially addiction to those that are around us, man. And we, look, we suck at it. We fucking suck.
We awful at it. Facts.
Yeah, that's true. Let me tell you, maybe we all come to it because it's a word that's thrown around like fucking love and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers always say, I love this. I love my car. I love this. I love my watch. I love my wife. I love my house. I love my
Love's gonna
dog.
get you, friend. Love's
you know what I'm saying? And love are gonna
damn it, she stole my line.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Stole mine too. Anywho,
stole Kara Russ's line.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey now.
You know what I'm saying? Which is already because he's allowed everybody to use it. He's not even copywritten and things. Yeah. Anyway, so
Jive Records.
It's like so we're all addicted, and to something, and even if you don't want to believe it or not, you are. But this stuff has been trained in us. Let's go back, shall we, to the beeper. The beeper was the beep, 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 beep. You heard that. We got to the noise. You heard the noise. What do? We had change in our pocket. We went to go to a phone booth and we called somebody. Yeah. We heard, and when the sound got down, we got used to the vibration because, hey, that's too loud. We got used to the vibration, right? Subconsciously put it into your head. Boom. Then, if I'm not mistaken, Quake got into the Sky Pager joints.
I had one.
Texting. The whole texting joint.
The two-way pager.
Yeah, the two-way pager joint, right? The two-way pager joint. So not only do I don't have to find the phone, but now I can text you. It's a keypad. Same thing. It was just big and just big. And motherfuckers didn't want to fuck with that. And remember, we still had the phones. So, I'm saying to say that all this stuff comes into our heads subconsciously. We can be somewhere and leave our phone in another room. But I guarantee you, your fucking ear will pick up the vibration of your fucking phone or the fucking tone, you know what I'm saying, of your phone, and you will go like a fucking lap dog to go get your fucking phone to see and check who the fuck was it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in our heads. We're all that way. You feel me?
So we've trained ourselves like that.
Exactly. So when you say addiction, when you're addicted to this, you're addicted to that. But then, hey, it's okay to be addicted to this. It's okay to be addicted to that. Yeah. It's okay to be. It's okay to do this. It's okay to do that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it comes back to the Paul Pierce conversation. Exactly. It's okay because if Paul Pierce has a cigarette in his mouth, it's no guarantee that he has the same type of vitriol response. Right. The fact that he has marijuana, which is legal in a number of places.
It's legal in California where he's at. So
but like Tico said,
didn't Sharp have a fucking cigar and fucking a Henny bottle and shit?
Oh, he smokes Black and Milds.
He's with the Black and Mild and some shit. Black and Mild and shit.
You hate every goddamn thing.
No, I hate that minstrel shit, man. I hate it, bro.
Just stop. Just stop.
All right, hold on. Ain't too many black folks like the taste of Henny anyway. I'll be that guy. Henny is not the shit that we out here drinking like that. You know who drinks that shit?
You a lie. I know a bunch of black people that shit.
Listen, L, we did a whole segment on Straight to Tape about that shit, bro.
Okay, hold up. We're gonna save that conversation for the after party.
Oh,
so
man.
million dollar question, and we'll get out on this. Do we hold the industry and the people surrounding X responsible for what's happened to X, or is it a split? Because I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, there does have to be some sort of individual culpability. So do you say the industry and those people around him are culpable for it, or is it a split in terms of responsibility for what happened to him?
It's a split.
It's a split.
It was there before he was DMX. It was there before. It was there when he had that bullshit deal on Profile Records. It was there when he got locked up. It was there before he got that bullshit deal with Profile Records. Fuck Profile Records, by the way. But anyway, okay. But it's
really feel.
I'm just saying. It's split. You're gonna have your enablers. Okay, but it's still going to come back to where it started with you, okay, and to the point where you could or cannot get help or cannot get off. Okay, and that's not even putting blame on. That's not putting blame on him. It's really not putting blame on anybody because, as L said, it changes your chemistry.
All right. Right about now is the time when we'd like to give you little tidbits of news or words of wisdom that you can take with yourself into the week. So I'm gonna start with L. L, what's up?
Oh man, just staying right on topic, man. Regardless of what your spiritual, religious flavor may be, this is a perfect opportunity to have conversations, seek understanding, knowledge to be able to address these issues that are running rampant in our community. Not just simply addiction, but you can even start with family trauma. Trying to understand some of the family dynamics that has laid the pathway for much of the addiction that we see in our families, and stop that cycle. Yeah. Have those conversations, man, and take your ass to therapy.
No doubt. Crush, what's up?
I mean, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to follow suit. You know, of course, extending my sympathies to the Simmons family, and that we really have to get to the root of our issues. You know, maybe it's not about addiction, but about addiction management to to help people refine their path. Because X definitely seemed like his path was clear, but something else was still slowing him down. And we just I don't know if it was his job responsible to help him do that, because that's what the industry was, his job. Like my job to help me in my situations. But at the same time, there are peers, there are brothers you came up with that should be there for you. And maybe they have tried. So all I can say is, reach out to your brother, and your sister, and look out for them. Don't be afraid to confront their issues or help them confront them. Even if they're about to hit you, help them.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Keisha, mama, what's up? You got words of wisdom or little tidbits of news that you want to share with the folks before we head out?
My thing is empathy, right? Be empathetic, but don't take no shit. So
I can dig it.
There's a balance there. So,
listen, man, I need on a t-shirt. That sounds great. I'm with you. Yes. Too late.
But for real, y'all, it's important to try to put yourself in other people's positions. A lot of times we speak on things and we have no idea what someone's
not
going
a
through.
fucking clue.
No clue on what someone's going through. We don't know anybody that's gone through anything like that. We don't even know anybody that looks like the person that's going through some shit. So there's too much information out here. There are too many great resources. There are a lot of not great resources, but there are lots of great resources where you can kind of mine for just items to help you be a much more empathetic person. And if you can't be empathetic, just shut the fuck up. If somebody hasn't said something, like if you cannot be empathetic, if you can't be empathetic, then just
shut the fuck up. Yes.
I can dig it. Rob, what's up, man?
Yo, man, it's kind of like it brings to mind a lot, man. It's just hearing, you guys talk, man, taking stuff from what Tico was saying earlier, from what Elle was saying, what Keisha's talking about, man. You know what I mean? The whole conversation about DMX, man. Check on your strong friends, you know what I'm saying? Check on your happy friends, the ones that seem like they got it all together and shit. You know what I'm saying? Check on these people, man. I mean, like Elle and I, we're in a crew, man, you know what I'm saying, where like we really get in each other's shit, you know what I'm saying, and we hold each other accountable, but it's we cuss each other the fuck out, but it's love, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And just like with Straight to Take, we cuss each other out all the fucking time, always arguing about some shit, but we love each other, we work hard and shit, you know what I'm saying? But check on your people, man, and it's riding that wave of empathy, like Keisha says all the time, man. Talk to your people, man. Talk to your people.
No doubt. CP2, you can't be CP3. CP2, what's up?
He finishing the end of that bottle is what he's doing. That's
his light skin ass turning red, so he must have been finishing that.
Listen, I ain't mad at you, bro.
10 in the span of an hour like that, my guy.
No.
Boy.
Nah.
Okay, so I mean the crew know I'm the politically minded one. All right. So I just want folks to stay informed, stay in tuned, and be ready to do shit when shit pops off. And the reason why I say that is because as Elle said, fuckery that we experienced over the past 4 years have awakened a lot of people politically, okay? And we need to stay on that route. One thing that I always complain about, and Rob and I go back 30 bands, all right? And we've always talked politically, all right? One thing that always pissed us off was all these motherfuckers rush out to the polls every 4 years, okay? And always forget about that damn second year.
The 2 year span.
Yeah, that midterms.
Or the special elections that show up every once in a bit.
Exactly. Always forget about it.
I be trying to remind Elle of that shit. He be forgetting too.
But but since 2000, I'll say this, since 2018 and this year, you've seen, I've seen a more energized people. Okay, yeah, I need y'all to stay on that route. Okay, I need y'all to stay on that route because we have to be always informed. We have to be ready. We have to know who we're voting for, what we are supporting. Okay, and once we get those that are in there, and just to piggyback one thing that Rob said, we got to hold them motherfuckers accountable each and every time and keep it up. We got a generation that that's finally seeing that they got to stay energized for those who are coming behind us. Okay, no doubt. So for those that are coming behind us, we got to lead that too.
No doubt. Yep. Tico, save the best for last. What's up, baby?
Y'all, you ever notice a motherfucking go for the all black motherfuckers always a light skinned nigga? You ever notice that shit? Like it's the lightest motherfucker that always the most political motherfucker. This motherfucker comes out this bitch Huey Newton fucking Farrakhan all wrapped up in one like a fucking sushi roll and shit. Yo,
Malcolm X crumbles on top.
Look at the soul brother.
Look at his shirt.
Oh shit, I'm jealous.
Yeah, man, do some push-ups. Your titty showing. Look, this right here is backing up of what Keisha's saying about empathy and
you better had better not.
No, listen,
no, Tico, don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't have a pen in my hand.
Okay,
but this is a life lesson to be learned that. Ladies, the friend zone is like an employee turning you down for a job and then calling you on a regular basis about the person they hired. Be empathy about the person that you're with. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have the his ass right off this broadcast.
And on that note, straight to tape. My family, I appreciate you guys, even the light-skinned ones, for showing up, showing out tonight.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Please tell our listeners, tell our audience where they can find you if they'd like to find you, man.
Look, we're on all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Our main. Hey, shut up. Look,
it was like we're all on all podcasts.
Look how we're in. Go ahead. No, shut up. Okay.
You can catch us on MySpace.
You
can catch us on BlackPlanet.com.
Black Planet, no.
That Elijah Craig
you know them Eskimos can't drink. Eskimos can't drink.
Look. We do a live stream Sundays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook Live and on Twitch. Okay, make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and of course IG. Straight to tape. All right. We're also, on YouTube. You can check out our channel, S2T Media. Okay. That's usually for extended content and some stupid shit that Tigo always wants to put up there, but I digress.
He threw you under the bus and drove backwards.
Okay. I'm just saying, but when you see the shit, he's funny. Okay. We're funny. We're insightful. We're unapologetic. Y'all, absolutely. We straight to tape, goddammit.
No doubt.
Barry,
appreciate you.
Your lowercase s curl looks very well.
Thank you.
Crush, where can people find you if they want to find you, man? God damn.
Man, just check me on Instagram at the Orange Crush with a K.
No doubt. L, how can people find you if they want to find you?
Twitter, man, at Elgin Bailey.
Sound like you've been drinking too.
I was gonna throw my OnlyFans out there, but I'm trying to my subscribers down. So
what to you? 3-4 subscribers, bro?
Yeah, listen, man. Hey, it ain't the number.
$19.99. The hair on that big.
No, the quality. 50 and up, 65 and older.
Y'all can make money off them beers.
You know, man. You better stop.
Bro, listen, they like to see me stroke it, bro. So listen, man.
Mr. In the Black. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _in the black. And I want to thank you guys. Let me get out of here because you guys is acting too much. You can find us. Please, I'm thankful that you guys showed up for another incredible episode of the In the Black podcast. Remember, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you chose to kick it with us, and we appreciate it. Make sure you follow us across all social media at In the Black PDCST. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And as always, informed, intelligent, in the black.
In the black.
Right.
Peace.
Right.
Light skinned people got hairy feet like hobbits.
Shut up.
Stupid.